Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, whatever it may be, wherever you may be. I hope everyone's well and staying safe, and welcome to this newest video, Why I Love Darkest Dungeon. Now, before we get into the first point of this video, why don't we all just take this time to go get ourselves a nice hot cup of tea, maybe even get ourselves a snack as well, something to munch on while we watch the video, because that's what I love to do while I'm watching YouTube, so I'll give you guys the chance to do that now. Point number 1, the art direction. Point 1 simply has to be just the art direction, and more specifically when it comes to the art direction, what I really love is the simplistic animation style. Something that really lets the artist's work here really shine, and not only maintains but complements that style without losing any character whatsoever. The sprites that the characters have very, very little animation in them when it comes to actually fighting. They have an idle animation where they'll bop up and down, as you can see on the screen right now, but when it comes to fighting, there is just some effects layered over on top of a static sprite, and that gives you this feeling of movement, even though it's just a simple zoom in, zoom out kind of motion that you're seeing. On screen now you can see a flash of red fade in, fade out, but the actual characters themselves are static. It really butters my biscuit the way that they've done it, because you get to see just such simple things executed so very well. Such simple things allow you to gather all the information that you would ever need when you're in the battle. You see the word dodge come up, you see the damage numbers come up, and you see the big crits come up as well to let you know that something you need to pay attention to has just happened. And I really think if Darkest Dungeon went for anything even slightly more complex than what they did here, you'd lose so much character and so much style. But luckily for us, the guys over at Red Hook Studio, they really stayed true to their inspiration, the dark graphic novel style. It comes through so perfectly in Darkest Dungeon. They did it simply and elegantly, and for that they honestly have to be applauded. Point number 2. Permadeath. One of the many reasons I love permadeath, especially in Darkest Dungeon, is you get attached to the characters. You remember the feats of the characters that have survived the Darkest Dungeons. They're all ones that have survived some of the toughest challenges, and some of them that you've taken from level 1 in some cases all the way up to level 6. Upgrading their gear, changing up their skills, having them be on death's door in some cases, I'm sure. And sometimes you'll even remember the greatest crits that they pulled off to kill an enemy when everyone was stressed out of their mind, ready to give up. But that one person comes through with a 72 crit. Those are the moments that you remember. The game allows you to tell a new story every time. Every character has its own bard's tale, whether they died to poison, whether they were taken by a siren and betrayed their team, or even if they went absolutely crazy and decided they're just going to kill their teammates without any interference from a siren. Those things all happen in Darkest Dungeon, and they're all permanent, and you get to live that story and remember it. And ultimately, that story is completely down to the decisions that you made throughout the dungeons. Even sometimes you make that calculated move, but boy are you bad at maths. It's the moments like that, the highs and the lows, that are brought to you by permadeath. Everything matters all the time. It's up to you to make everyone survive. But that doesn't always happen, and you end up with a graveyard that's about as full as mine. Before we head off from the hamlet for the third and final time to get to the final point of why I love Darkest Dungeon, how about you take this time to maybe like the video down below, and if you've really enjoyed it, subscribe to see more stuff like this from the channel in the future. Why not share it around, show your friends, tell them about it. It would really help the channel, and I would really appreciate it. Also, rumour has it those 3 things keep the Shambler away. Now, moving on to point number 3, mod support. Now, for anyone that's ever played Darkest Dungeon, I don't think I really need to go into this one in too much detail for you. But the mod support for this game is absolutely incredible. There's just so many mods. It ranges from skins that just change up the appearance of your people to be from your favourite franchise instead of the base. And then there's some really cool original characters that people have made for skins. There's just so many of them, and you can have them all active at once and swap and change them while you're in the game. And it's just really nice to have that option. There are also some of those questionable skins that, if you know what I'm talking about, you know. And we're not going to show them on the channel because I don't want to get banned. Of course, when there's a community that is so passionate about making mods and so passionate about this game, the mods don't just stop at cosmetic skins. The mods go all the way up to cool new class mods that the community have made and balanced and got feedback on the Steam Workshop or elsewhere. What you can see on screen now is 4 separate new classes that have been added by mods. There's the Arsonist in the front, the Exile in second, the Blackguard in third, and then just Tony Stark in the 4th rank. Iron Man has joined the Darkest Dungeon. I mean, how can you not love that? He even comes with his own Infinity Gauntlet. But honestly, the coolest thing about the mod support in this game is the way the developers help the modders. They have a weekly mod showcase that shows off 2, 3, 4 mods a week. Some of them might be different classes, some of them might be some cool skins that they found, and they promote them out on the Steam store page, which I find is really, really cool. And that just makes me respect the developers even more and gives me just another reason to love this game. Let's not forget the best mod that ever was made for this game, Moe's Tavern. And there you have it. Those are my main points for why I love Darkest Dungeon. Now, if you want to write me a comment, tell me what you love about Darkest Dungeon, or maybe what I've missed, feel free. The box is right down below. But for now, I hope that you guys stay safe, and you have a good morning, a good afternoon, or a good evening. Whatever it may be, wherever you may be. I'll see you in the next video. Bye!